One of the things that I haven't seen others do is just concentrated studies. It's the main way I've personally improved in my art style. My biggest inspiration has to be Kei Mochizuki. There's that translation process that's really important because I think one of the things that you have to do when it comes to learning a new style is
This is Yen, an underrated artist that has incredible growth over the years in technical skills, art style, and numbers. Today we'll be talking about his journey, studying methods, and also his philosophy behind developing an art style. If you're interested in Yen's work, all his links will be in the description below. Let's welcome Yen. When did you first find success? What is the breakthrough moment for you in art?
when I realized I could do this when it comes to success is uh how do you say this? I did a challenge called the 100 Days Challenge. You might have remembered it from the past, where you basically make a finished illustration for 100 days. And I kind of started the challenge for fun, but then it just kind of started snowballing. And I got more followers, but also more importantly, I got better at drawing from just doing that many illustrations in such a short amount of time. And I think that was like the moment where I'm like, okay, there's something here. I could probably pursue it.
And is the challenge like a hashtag on Twitter or X?
Yeah, it was like a popular hashtag back then. I'm not sure how many people finished it, except I suck it out of pure stubbornness, if I'm being honest.
Is it kind of like a Inktober kind of thing where you have to do
Yeah.
one every day? Ah, I see. So I've done Inktober myself, and it's really hard to like, I guess, coming up with ideas for
Oh yeah,
Inktober,
100%.
right? And how do you have like a strategy for like coming up with ideas for every single day? You have to do a new one.
I tried to come up with the idea the day before, and if I couldn't, I'd go to other sources to just like get ideas from, whether it's VTuber streams or my last resort's usually like Pinterest or something. It's like, give me an idea or pose that I can draw, and I'll just draw it.
Oh, that's interesting. Pinterest is your last resort? Because usually I just go there like the first thing.
Yeah, well, back then, yes. Now I use Pinterest a lot more often. But yeah, Pinterest helped me with just finding random poses that worked, and I could just like draw it. But I usually tried to come up with the ideas myself because I don't know. I On one hand, it was enjoyable to come up with all of the ideas myself. On the other hand, I felt like I ended up defaulting to a lot of the same poses and ideas, which kind of made a lot of my art samey back then, which I'm trying to improve upon now.
That's probably one of the most common problems people have when it comes to like drawing consistently is like they always end up doing the same thing, or at least they feel like they're doing the same thing.
I've talked about this before with other artists as well, where it feels like I have like ideas about art, like stuff I want to draw, except there's a certain mental barrier or just creativity barrier where I want to make art that feels a certain way, that feels more than that can evoke certain emotions, except it's hard to come up with them. So I just end up defaulting back into comfort, stuff that I am used to, stuff that I can draw fairly easily.
Have you found a way to combat that, or it's still a struggle for you?
Pinterest is one of them. But aside from that, it's just going for ideas, even if I don't think I can execute it well on a technical level, but just seeing what I can do with my current, I guess, fundamental skills.
Aside from Pinterest, do you have any other like sources for inspiration? For example, do you look at other artists? Who is your like biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration has to be, for the longest time, it has been, there's this artist on Twitter called Kei Mochizuki. Her at
Okay.
is key underscore 999. And a lot of my current art style could be owed to just copying her style, actually. Basically, my main style for the longest time has been inspired by Kei Mochizuki, except right now I'm trying to branch out. And my main inspirations right now have been, I guess, 96 Yoteya and Dino.
Ah, I've done like videos on them before.
Yeah, I watched. I watched.
And what do you like about Kei Mochizuki's work?
I like how sharp and stylish her characters always look. They always stood out in a way that appealed to me in terms of cell shaded styles. So it was like the first thing I decided, hey, like I want to take a crack at that. And then that got me to where I am right now.
And is this like a conscious thing that you're doing by looking at other artists and then like taking not all, maybe part of their style and take and makes it into your own kind of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a lot of active studying when it comes to artists that I like, and it's the main way I've personally improved in my art style and just like art in general. Studying others and incorporating what they know into my own knowledge and replicating how they draw certain things.
So, how do you usually go about doing that specifically?
I have a lot of stuff I do whenever I like when I try to learn or copy from a certain artist. I guess first of all, it's organizing my references. I compile a lot of like the work I like into a big puref file where I will just use that as reference every time I'm drawing to just see if I'm on track. Like if I'm in the right direction, if I'm doing things the right way, or if I need a certain reference, like, oh, how does this artist draw this thing at this certain angle? I could just look at my reference page and copy what they did, or at least try to emulate what they did. On top of that, I've also done complete studies of their work where I'll just try to study it from start to finish. Except one of the things that I feel like I haven't seen others do is just concentrated studies where I'll isolate a piece of their work. For example, I'll only focus on the line art. It's someone who has heavy emphasis on line art, or I'll even just isolate the face or something else to understand the proportions they use better. It's a lot of just going into the specifics of the style and the different things that make it up, especially the important things that make it up. So I can effectively emulate and learn the lessons I need to from them.
Do you still do any studies now? Or you're more improving as you post more of your actual, the stuff you do for social media?
I still do studies now. Actually, I've been getting back into them, especially since I'm trying out a new style now.
Interesting. What sort of style is that? What are you trying
Uh,
to do differently?
since I've been drawing mostly cel shaded in a similar way to Kei Mochizuki style, I've been trying to incorporate painterly aspects to that as well. Since I've mentioned Dino and 96 Yatea. Of course, I've done studies on their works as well, except one of the things I've been doing is doing real life studies as well, just so that I can understand how to translate reality you see in reality to that sort of painterly style. Because I think one of the things that you have to do when it comes to learning a new style is learning how to translate the reference you see in real life to that style itself instead of just studying the artist itself. There's that translation process that's really important. Plus, it helps internalize and makes you learn how a certain style functions overall. Which is why whenever I do studies from real life images, I go straight into stylization. I don't try to recreate whatever it is one to one. I try to look at it and then, for example, if I'm doing figure drawings, I'll draw it in the style of, let's say, Kei Mochizuki. Or let me throw in another name from one of my inspirations, Yo-Yo Shinari. But yeah, like that is sort of like my method for studying styles. And some of my advice in how to develop an art style and just get better at not just copying, but also really making the style into your own.
How has the balance between doing your own characters and versus fan art?
Especially recently, I've been doing a lot of my own character art, but that's mostly because I haven't been consuming a lot of VTuber media or anime media in general. But I've been starting to get back into fan art purely because that's where my audience lies. But more importantly, I sort of miss the community and the talents involved. So I want to make fan art again. Though it is just like, definitely is just a balance of like, hey, what do I want to draw at this certain moment? Do I want to draw fan art for my favorite VTubers or series, or do I want to make some personal art, which might not be as popular with my fan base, but is art that's personally important to myself.
Because I think, at least for me, it's really nice to have people supporting you when you're doing the fan art. But at the same time, it's kind of disheartening when like your own stuff doesn't get as much engagement.
That was definitely a struggle for me earlier on. At some point, I've kind of learned just to expect it and not really be bothered by it because people followed for the VTuber art. So once they don't see that, then of course, like they're not gonna be as prone to liking whatever original thing I've come up with. And how I guess console myself about that is once I am a good enough artist, if I get better at art, just like technically, creatively, compositionally, eventually I will also build fans of my own personal art as well.
I really like the original character sketch that you did, the one with the hands.
Oh, I ripped that idea from Pinterest.
Oh, okay.
I
So
ripped the idea from Pinterest and just made it my own. Yeah.
is it like a is it the same like composition or
Yeah, same composition.
nice? The hands are really clean. I like the hands.
Really, I thought I could have painted them better.
No, no, no. It looks good, especially the one that's grabbing. How do you say it? Like the left
Yeah, my
hand that's
characters.
grabbing.
The power of reference.
Do you hate drawing hands as well, or you're kind of fine with it?
I'm fine with drawing hands. I dislike painting hands and rendering them, which is why I'm
Mm.
mostly used to cell shaded.
Because I did a challenge once where I tried to draw. I want to say 500 hands in one day.
Do you use reference or no?
Some yes, but not all. If you do it enough, at some point you start having like hands in your head almost. You start
You
imagining
can
like
just
hands.
you can just visualize it.
Yeah, for me at least.
I'll draw some hands from memory just for the sake of it.
Oh my god, I can't do that. I have to look at something. Oh, the 500 day buff is 500 hands buff is gone within like 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. It's like I got really good at drawing hands at the end of the session, but I was so tired. And then the next like 2 days, when I tried again, it's just like I've lost the skill.
Yeah, you weren't able to retain it as much. I low-key enjoy drawing hands though.
You like drawing them?
Yeah, if I have reference especially, except even without reference, just like making up random hands is it feels rewarding. Unless like it's I do not like drawing foreshortened hands. I will just say that.
Hmm. Like the fingers, you mean?
Yeah, like when the fingers are outstretched to towards the viewer, that's when it's like, okay, I'm not figuring this out properly. How do I do this?
It messes with your brain.
Yeah. Like the challenge online, like where it was exactly that, like Discord sort of hand.
Ah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I
That's
can't do
crazy though.
this.
Yeah, that is crazy. Because like it's very delicate where like
Yeah.
one tiny mistake and it doesn't look like it doesn't look legit anymore.
No one
But
needs to see that.
you draw a lot of hands actually in your you don't try to hide them. It kind of boosts the expression of the character or the story.
They're one of the focal points I like using to compose. Plus, I find that using hands in my poses helps just add visual intrigue a lot instead of just like hiding them.
Did you practice them separately?
Okay, let me go back to Kei Mochizuki for a second. I got a bunch of her drawings where I like how the hands look like, and also a bunch of other drawings from her where they're just hands that I thought I'd probably draw a lot of, like some basic poses. And I just studied those. And afterwards, yeah, I got really good at drawing hands, except like a fair bit of it was lost. But after doing it a couple of times after drawing hands in my own illustrations, a lot of the time it got a bit more natural. Though I still think what you mentioned, the hand buff, a lot of it that left.
It's only there when you if you do it consistently. Are you the type that
Thank you
uses
for
a lot
suggesting.
of different brushes when you work?
Not until recently, no.
So you just use like one brush most of the time, like before.
Yeah, before. For this specific style you see on screen where is this it's just cell shaded, I just use the default G pen
But in your actual work
for
nowadays, you would use different brushes now, because I think you
yeah,
mentioned you
with
want to do a more painterly style.
though a lot of it is still just G pen and a hard round brush, but I have like some texture brushes to help achieve the effect as well.
I think you see that in Dino's work, right? There's like a lot of texture going on, just random textures here and there.
Yeah, I've watched his live streams where he uses those brushes as well. And hey, don't include this in the video, except I have Dino's brushes.
Oh,
It was on Patreon. It's one of the brush sets I use. They're really nice. Aside from that, I also use Yuming Lee's brushes. Used to be free.
but now they're not.
Now they're behind her Gumroad.
That's fair though.
You can find a lot of texture brushes just online for free. You just need to find the right one. Actually, one of like the best ones is a brush that kind of like looks like this, where it's just like kind of like a rake type of brush, where it's like five lines all together, and
Oh,
you see that brush everywhere.
I think I know what you mean. I have one of those as well in my inventory. But I rarely use them.
It's always helpful to like try out some of them every now and then. Though I actually like one of those people who kind of stick to the brushes I mostly know.
Yeah, I don't like switching out my brush as well. I'll use one for like a couple months, the same one, and then I'll switch to another one once I get bored.
Any like real big plans that are actually in motion right now? I guess for one thing,
Mm.
like I do want to start doing YouTube stuff personally,
Oh, okay. What are you gonna post?
but art tutorials, man.
Ah, I see. Well,
But
if you make the channel now, we can ask people to go subscribe to get it
I
started, you
do
know?
have I do have a YouTube. I just don't post on it, but it is where I'm planning to post.
I mean, if it's the same channel, I'll put the link in the
Yeah, I'll just
description so people
I'll
can go
just send it
follow.
to you.
Because obviously you do a lot of characters. Is there something aside from characters that you would like to, I guess, draw more in your work?
Like certain characters I'd like to draw more.
No, as in like other subject matters aside from characters.
Oh, I want to get more into drawing backgrounds as well. Because I don't mention this publicly because like I have no solid plans for it yet. Except I do want to create sort of like a fantasy world type thing. And
Oh,
I can't make something like that purely out of characters. So yeah, like I want to draw more stuff like fantasy based designs, but also like with my own flair.
well, now you put that publicly. in the video if I
Oh, shoot. Oh, God.
if I do
Oh,
decide to put it in.
no, because that project's been, like, off and on for, like, for almost a year now.
Oh, you started working on it.
Yeah, a bit. Just, like, it's the world building. It's in world building limbo right now.
Well, we'll be looking forward
But
to it
yeah,
at some point.
at some point. Not
At
in the
some
near
point,
future.
eventually.
I have a friend working with me on that, and he's a really underrated artist, but that's because he doesn't actually post his work too often, and the work he does have out isn't like it's his it's a lot of his old work, but he's been helping me with all of like the designs and research for stuff.
What is it actually like? Is it like a manga or novel or like a series of illustrations? Like, what is it?
It's gonna be like a series of illustrations, probably.
I really like that idea because I used to do that the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I discovered you from that. Your old myth drawings, I remember.
I think that's how we knew each other, no?
Oh yeah, I messaged you. I was like, "Hey, really nice work, I think."
Yeah, and I saw your stuff before as well because you were doing. Obviously, I do some research before I post anything, and I think at the time I was doing like the series for Ina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, this guy's doing Ina as well.
I drew a lot of Ina back then.
You definitely did a lot of Ina. Only Ina, I would say. Anyways, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you too for asking me to interview. I got I was like surprised. I was like, huh? Me?
This was my first time doing this, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this interviewed style content, or if you have someone in mind that you think should come onto the channel. As always, remember to subscribe, and bye!